What's quacking, everybody? So we're getting new kits. We're 100% getting new kits. I'm going to stand on this 10 toes down right there in your face. Recently, a little bit ago, we had that leak where they leaked like new gear or whatever. But if they're going to give us new gear and stuff like that, I believe wholeheartedly in the future, we're getting third kits. Like we already got third kits. We're going to get more third kits. I fully believe that in my heart of hearts, and I'm not going to back down this time, because last time I backed down, I was like, oh, we're getting third kits. I went through the logistics, I went through everything, and I was like, we're definitely getting third kits. And then for a long time we didn't get any, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to concede this. Maybe we're not getting third kits. And then they came out and gave us third kits, and I was like, well, golly me, I guess we got third kits, so I'm gonna stand on it this time. I'm not gonna say we're not getting third kits until Splatoon 4 comes out now. Once Splatoon 4 drops, I'm gonna make the video going, guys, I don't think we got third kits. I don't think we're getting any more third kits, because we got Splatoon 4, so there's no more third kits. But for now, we're definitely getting more third kits. And what makes me think that? Well, one, they haven't said anything that they're going to stop doing more third kits. And two, I think what they're going to do, which is a fantastic strategy, is they're going to launch these third kits along the side of the new Splatoon single player game. And obviously they didn't give us a real release date for the new game. So that gives them we're going to have a long enough window where probably, it might release maybe at the end of this year or early next year. That's a long enough window where if they give us like a 2-season gap, we're probably going to get more weapons, okay? And there's 34 weapons that don't have third kits. I went through and counted them all. There's 34 weapons that still don't have third kits. So what they could do is they have two options. They release, half of that. They go, here's 17 weapons with the release of the new game. And then they wait a couple more seasons. And then they give us the last 17. Or, they just don't give us the last 17 and, it's what it is. Because, not all kits in Splatoon 2 got third kits. So we can expect some weapons to not get third kits. Unfortunately, there will be some left behind. But, there could be like, hey, new game's coming out. Here's the last 34 kits with all of the new stuff with the new game. And, it's probably going to release, maybe either in, the winter of this year as like a holiday title for the Switch 2. Or it's going to release, sometime next year, maybe in like March or April, and then with that new season around that time, they're gonna be like, oh well, here's more weapons as well. It's gonna shake up the meta incredibly, and it's gonna be great. So that's my thought process with these third kits, is new game, new weapons. So that way, Splatoon 3 is going to get a lot of people, it's going to boost up player counts and everything. And then people are going to buy the new game as well. So Splatoon's going to be popping for a little bit. And that's going to be great. However, there is one downside that I noticed with these weapons. So in these last third kits, these kits were juiced. Even the ones that maybe aren't the greatest are still pretty juiced to a degree. They still do a lot. They give a lot back to the game. Like, some people aren't a big fan of Paintbrush. It's got Wall and Zuka. That's still a pretty solid kit. Paintbrush can still utilize Wall. It's got a decent amount of range, and it has a Zuka. Like, that's pretty killer for the most part. So I would say some of these kits, while bad, still hit and pack a pretty decent punch if used correctly. But there were some specials missing from weapons that did not show up. I do not believe we got a single new VAC weapon, and we did not get a single new Wavebreaker weapon. So there's gonna be some weapons that are gonna get these garbage specials. There's a lot of specials in the game, so unless they're gonna completely ignore stuff like VAC and Wavebreaker, expect some garbage kits to come out. Because also, there's other subs as well. We're probably gonna see maybe more Toxic Mist, more ink mines, more line markers, stuff like that. They're going to definitely expand upon the other subs as well, and specials. So weapons like Bucket, for example. Bucket had a third kit in Splatoon 2. So Bucket is pretty juiced. Its vanilla kit is really good. Its second kit, not so much. What's its third kit going to have? Well, there's not a lot of representation of, some other specials right now. Why not give it Ink Mine Vac? And then that's going to be upsetting to a lot of people because it's going to have something like Ink Mine Vac and it's going to suck. It's a great main weapon, but it's going to have bad kits. So that is the biggest concern with these weapons, is they're going to have terrible kits. And that's what I'm a little bit not excited about. I'm excited we're going to have third kits because I'm going to, it's going to be interesting if they do slap, something great on these weapons and, really give some of these weapons, more oomph, more power. But expect, some weapons, that get third kits to just not have good kits. And, I started the video off with Hopium, and I'm hitting you with some cold water right now, and that's a fact we're gonna have to accept. I'm sorry, it's just gonna happen. We're gonna get garbage kits for more third kits, unfortunately, because there wasn't that much representation. But there's a lot of weapons. Your weapon might be able to dodge. Maybe Bucket might get a good kit. Maybe Soda Slosher comes back with a good kit. That could be a possibility. But, something like, Vanilla Roller doesn't have, a third kit. Pen is missing a third kit. E-Leader's missing a third kit. Oh my God, E-Leader mains, you best pray you get something good and they don't, give you something trash like, I don't know, Toxic Mist Vac or something. Like, that would be just egregious. That would be a war crime if they did that. That would be disgusting. There's also Blob, which I think Blob is a very fun, interesting weapon at times. Blob could just have a terrible kit. It's very scary. It's very scary. While we will get more third kits, and I will stand on that, it's just not looking good. It's just not looking good whatsoever. However, there's one thing that I did think of that we could have with the future game. So the game is going to come out and it's probably going to have new weapons or something. What if, hypothetically, we get a weapon from the new game and it's goated, or new weapons from the new game? I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. There could be just themes, different types of stuff, different things that they just decide to add to Splatoon 3 that, we get some new things. We get some new toys. I don't want new specials, but if the new special is going to be good and functioning and, not be terrible, and we get, like a new sub or something, like what if they give us, the little buddy that we get to throw around? They give us the small fry that we get from, story mode. Then what? What are we doing with that sub? It's like, is that going to be good? It does like some damage over time. Maybe like the small fry does like 50% or something like that. You just throw it at someone, it does 50%. Maybe like makes your screen all smoky or something like that as well. Or like when someone throws the small fry at you, the small fry just like goes on your screen and it's just like they're smiling at you or something like that. I think that'd be pretty funny as a sub. It'd be broken and annoying to deal with, but I think that'd be pretty funny. But then also, whatever's in the new game, we could get something from the new game. There was like that robot thing that we saw. So maybe like that could be like, a special or something where we summon the robot and it's kind of like a turret where it just like sits there for like 10 seconds maybe, and like you can break it, like if you shoot Zuka or something like that, you can break it. But like think of it as like, you throw it down and then it just like shoots at people and looks around or whatever and just kind of like, lobs things at people. So that would be like a pretty interesting special where it just, shoots ink everywhere, or like maybe it's like a giant sprinkler, something like that. But I think at this point, hopefully we don't get new specials and they save all these ideas for, a future Splatoon game with, a giant sprinkler type, special and stuff like that. So hopefully no new specials, but it is a possibility. I don't think we're going to get any new specials. I think our third kits are going to be bad, unfortunately. But there is a possibility that when the new game launches, they give us something new, something different, maybe even a new just main weapon type. They don't even have to give us a new sub or special, just a new weapon type, whatever, is in the game or something like that. So who knows what is going to happen, but we're getting third kits for sure. There was the leak with the new gear. They haven't said anything. We are getting more third kits. I stand on that. And if you made it this far, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.